2 Kings chapter 5. We are going to start today from verse 12. It's dealing with the healing of Naaman, the commander of the army of the king of Syria. Let us read it over and then we explain. So to bring your memory back, yesterday we were talking about how this great commander of the army in Syria was mandated by Elisha, the great prophet of God, to go and dip himself into the waters of Jordan, the rivers of Jordan. Naaman started to argue with the servant of God, saying, in his place they have a lot of mighty and good, clean rivers. How come the man of God is telling me to go and dip myself, a whole me, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, to go and dip myself in this pond of water that is so dirty? Naaman forgot that he himself happens to be extremely, even if there's any ground like that, dirtier than the water. He has been sent to go and dip himself. So he argued and argued and argued and saying that this man of God is letting him down. Let us see let us start from there. Behold, I thought that he would surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper. I thought that Father Diaz could have come and lay his hands upon my head and speak, and then my sickness will go. How come he is telling me to go and dip myself into that dirty water? I thought that he could have come out with the prayer warriors gathered around me and speak the word of authority, and my leprosy will leave me by force, by fire. He's telling me to go and dip myself in that dirty water. What an insult. Because he was reasoning like a human being whose sense of reasoning has been corrupted due to the sin of Adam and Eve. And the reasoning of human beings are limited. You cannot compare your own reasoning with the reasoning of God. And your reasoning is not perfect compared with that of God. You have no wisdom. If you have any, it's an atom in comparison with that of God, who is wisdom itself. So after hearing from the servant, he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the word of the man of God. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. When you obey the word of God, dear child of God, when you obey the instructions of God through the man of God, when you obey his instructions to the letter, God will definitely perfect concerns you. You may be asking for one, but he will give you two because he always gives double. One day, a magistrate come here who has been just posted to take her. She has been married for over 8 years without a child. She was being told about me and she came. A kind of shaking body. To the extent she was being given a police as a guide. So the police woman asked her to go in. He said, no, come and follow, come and accompany me. I don't want to go alone, I am afraid. Imagine serious. So when she entered into my office, I listened to her carefully. I told her, because the Spirit of God had already spoken to me about her before she entered, concerning her. I gave her 21 days prayer to say, and warned her not what to do and what not to do. So she went back, told the story to her husband. Her husband said, that place, people have told me much about it, but again, there's another part of that very place. We really have to be careful. Started to talk bad against us, as usual. The woman told him, this time around, we have gone to Vincentian, we have gone to everywhere, and nothing is happening. Can't we give this one a trial? Who knows? Yeah, you can go on, but not with me. Now, after the 21 days prayer, I don't know whether this woman is still the magistrate in Kiambu or no, it has been changed. This woman conceived. After 21 days in the same month, she conceived. And you know what? She did not conceive one baby. But triplets. And she gave birth to 3 bouncing baby boys. 3 at a go. So after 2 months, the woman told the husband, I think it will be pleasing to God. We go back to Father and give thanks to God for having answered our prayer, which we have been doing for many years, but now it has happened through this Father. Let's go there and thank God. The husband told her, doesn't matter, you can thank God in any church. It happened. I do not pray for anything to happen to them. But last 2 months, I was being told that one of the babies have passed. The reasoning of human beings is being corrupt. God has shown you the way. God has answered you through somebody whom you do not recognize. Why not go and recognize that very person so that God will be glorified. So there are many stories, there are many experiences we have gotten in this work, but we don't talk. Only in the cases like now I am saying something which some of you even have not known. So after all these scenarios, having been made clean, then he returned to the man of God, he and all his company. And he came and stood before him. And he said, behold, I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. So accept now a present from your servant. But Elisha said, as the Lord liveth, whom I serve, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. He insisted. Then Naaman said, if not, I pray you, let there be given to your servant 2 most burden of earth. For henceforth your servant will not offer burnt offerings or sacrifice to any god but the Lord your God. So after all these things, Elisha told Naaman, go in peace. Vade in pace. And you know one funny thing happened in this story. One of the servants of Elisha considered, how can we leave this kind of offering this rich man is giving us? Abana, let me rush and get hold of him and get something from him. So he went after this Naaman, and Naaman saw him and stopped and asked him, is everything okay? He said, yes. Now the prophet, the man of God, have remembered that there is 2 friends who have come from somewhere, and they are passing their night. He has asked me to come some of those gifts, so as we can use it for this our visitors. Naaman said, okay, well and good. They stopped and gave this servant of Elisha the portion that he requested. This servant went home, back to Elisha, thinking that Elisha is an idiot, does not know things. Elisha called him and asked, where are you coming from? Like some of us who always like to hide, who have chosen to be telling lies to Father Bertrand and thinking that Father Bertrand will not know. And when Father Bertrand is aware of what has happened, he won't ask. He just bend his head and just bring down the glass Kidogo too and look at him. You told lie to a priest. You told lie to a servant of God. And you think that you will just go unpunished? Apart. Now listen to what happened here. This servant of his denied, say he has been around, he did not go anywhere. Are you sure? Yes, I have been here, I did not go anywhere. So you went to collect something from Naaman without my knowledge. No, I did not go. Okay, as you are denying, you know what? The leprosy of Naaman will come to you and will come to all your generation. It happened. The man was covered with leprosy. And from there, continue. Some of the problems we are having to their brethren. Happen to be cars received from sometimes our forefathers, sometimes from people we have served, and failed to tell the truth, and the person out of anger curse you. And when that happens, it will go long way, affecting all generations and generations. For that to be removed, there will be a lot of sacrifices to be made. Be careful. Be careful when you joke with God. Be careful when you joke with the word of God. Be careful when you want to play hanky-panky with servants of God. Be careful when you try to hide yourself under the pretense of virtue. God is seeing you. Whatever you plant, that you will reap. Never you make the mistake to tell lie, no matter what. You can tell lie to other people and you go away with it, but not to a servant of God, to an anointed servant of God. For if you do, you may end up not being happy forever in your life, no matter what. It's automatic. Whatever you sow, that you will reap. And you cannot eat your cake and have it back. Apana. Open your mouth in truth. Run 440 with lies. Never you near it. It is like fire. Open your mouth in truth. Only. Father will not open his mouth to curse you. You have already brought a problem in your life. And unless you confess it, not confessing of going to the confessional, Father, forgive me, I have sinned. I have lied once. Apana. The same way it doesn't take you time to tell lie, the same way you weren't ashamed to tell lie to a servant of God, the same way go back to him and don't be shy. Tell the truth. Then your sin will be forgiven. Or else you will live with it forever.